They're really the center of our entire physical being. You know that. Everything is attached to it, and of course, the connection that everything has to your spine is going to greatly impact everything. So your bony spine, the physical spine, is 24 vertebra, and a lot of you already know this because you've heard it from me so many times. You've got 7 cervical vertebra, you have 12 thoracic, your upper back. This is an area of the body that is designed to be convex, however, not too convex, all right? So when I talk about extension today, because we are going to be talking about, in fact, extension is just something we should be thinking about all day. Whether we're sitting or standing, we should really think, how's my spine right now? You know? And then there are the 5 lumbar. And then of course you've got your sacrum across the back that doesn't have, it's just one big bony area. But within the spinal column is the spinal cord and the spinal fluid. The spinal cord is part of your central nervous system, and along with the brain, it's basically responsible for absolutely everything going on in your body. Our brains and our spinal cords are surrounded by clear, colorless fluid called spinal fluid, and basically it acts as a buffer or a shock absorber for trauma, for, you know, just it's protection, a little bit of padding. Now, the spinal fluid is important in that it transports waste products, you know, from your brain into your bloodstream, and then your bloodstream sends the nutrients into your brain. So, you know, obviously this is a really important highway. There's lots of important highways, but this is the major one that you don't want to be like the 401. You want it to be more like the 407 at 4 in the morning when nobody else is on it. Or you're driving somewhere. Anyway, but the key to a healthy spine is movement and extension. That's it. You can spend an hour doing yoga a week, which you do, at least, but it doesn't make up for the 10 hours of sitting in front of a computer or a desk or whatever it is. But we may still have to sit for 10 hours. Point is, get up and move. Absolutely get up and move. And then, because yoga is such a powerful tool, it actually helps reduce degenerative disc disease, and that can manifest in so many different ways. So we want to take care of these important parts of our body so we can play and stay young and do all the things that we really want to do. The other thing I want to mention is, you know, and I know this isn't rocket science, and I don't want it to be rocket science. I want this to be as simple as possible, that all of your organs are in some way attached to your spine. And all of our organs, whether it's the liver, you know, the stomach, the spleen, the pancreas, they all need to be stretched. They all need to be compressed to release. They also like to be twisted because it activates them. It helps them do what they want to do. So knowing that all of this is attached to your spine makes your spine super important. And so, you know, if we want our organs to function better, do your yoga, which you are doing. So yeah, if your spine becomes less flexible, your organs are going to suffer. So it's a powerful tool, yoga. I like you to think of it as a tool. You know, gentle movements like what we're going to be doing today in yoga, plus, you know, stretching mindfully, all of it promotes spinal health. And if it's true that we're as old as our spines, let's get started. On your backs, everybody. So we're going to start with simple. First, we're going to elongate. Let's draw the right knee up and bring it in towards your chest. So this has an elongating effect on the lower part of your spine. Your left leg is flat on the floor. Your right knee is bent into your chest. And release. And bring your arms to your side. Lift your heart center up and tuck your shoulder blades under. Tilt your chin towards the center of your chest, and let's do this on the other side now. Bring your left knee up. Interlock your fingers 2 inches below your knee and pull into you. I think next week we're going to talk about digestion and how yoga impacts
in a positive way, digestion. So I'm thinking of it right now because when you fold your thigh into your abdomen, and let's bring the right knee up, so now both are up. You can keep one hand on each knee, or if you want to try and wrap your arms around your shins, you can do that too. So the compression here regarding digestion is that this presses on your ascending, your transcending, and your descending colon. Now lots of people have very healthy peristalsis and things move through in an efficient manner. You don't want food to move through too quickly, or your digestion to move too quickly, and you don't want it to be, the transit time to be too slow. Now, keep your knees bent, place your flat feet on the floor with your knees bent. You can take your arms out to the side. Now we're just going to do a simple rotation of your spine. So, with your feet, they can be a little wider than hip width. Feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent. In fact, they really should be generously wider than your hips. Just lower both knees over to the left. You might want to turn your head to the right. So we get into our cervical spine. And breathe here. Please move as slowly as you need to with awareness. Inhale, come back to center. If you feel you'd be better served with your feet wider apart, do so now. And then exhale and release both knees over to the right and your head to the left. So we were elongating our spine. We are now gently rotating. Inhaling, come back to center. Exhaling, lower both knees over to the left. Again, if it feels okay, gently turn your head to the right, the opposite direction of your knees. And there's more going on here than just rotating your spine. Obviously, you probably can feel it in your thighs. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, both knees to the right, perhaps your head to the left. And breathe, always breathing. I have never heard of anyone whose circulation was too good. Of course, poor circulation, we all know things will slow down. So yoga, of course, is addressing circulation on a regular basis. Bring your arms now beside your body and bring your heels with your feet flat on the floor to align with your hips. Now, I want you to listen carefully. You're going to tighten your abdominal muscles. Don't press your low back towards the floor right now. You're tightening your abdominal muscles and keeping that space underneath your lower back. In fact, the tighter that you activate these muscles, the more your lower back will lift up. If you're not quite getting it right, don't panic. Okay, we're just holding here for a minute, and then not a whole minute. We're going to relax, just relax. And now, I want you to pull your abdominal muscles towards the floor as you press your lower back into the floor. Moving mindfully, moving slowly, and remember, if anything is causing discomfort or pain, please listen to your bodies. Not just in my class, in any exercise fitness class. Listen to your body. So we're holding, you're pulling your abs towards the floor, and you're pressing the small of your back into the floor. So this is a moderate flexibility exercise for your spine. Release, release. We're going to do one more time. I want you to breathe. And on an exhale, you're going to keep breathing though. Exhale, pull your muscles, your abdominal muscles. Pull them in. The more you pull, pull, the more you may find your lumbar spine coming off the floor. If you're really activating your lower and middle abs, abdominal muscles, notice how it pulls your lower back off the floor. Keep breathing, but we are holding the position. We don't hold our breath, and let's release. And last time, inhale in place. Now exhale, pull your abdomen, your muscles towards the mat, and of course this does press your lower back into the mat as well. So your lumbar vertebra, all 5 of them, are attempting to flatten. Now they're normally concave, but mobilizing our spinal, each one of those vertebrae has many points where they connect, where they articulate, and by moving these, they become lubricated, they stay supple, and listen, when you see somebody with a very supple, straight spine, we think how youthful. We don't think about age. We may look at them and say, wow, they look so young for their age. So, and it's just true. As one of my late dear friends who died at the age of 97 said, Joey, somebody is always taking your measure. And, you know, we're always checking people out. Come on. It's fun to people watch. And relax. Okay. Let's draw the knees once more into the chest, both of them, one hand below each knee, and just either rock from side to side. Maybe some slow circles will feel right. So the thing is, in day to day, you know, we may be busy doing things, but we're not moving through all the different planes. The rotating, the lateral stretching, the bending of backwards. We're mostly bending and forward, and often we're hunched with a rounded back. Okay, keeping the knees bent, place flat feet on the floor, and once again, line your heels up with your sits bones. Arms are beside your body with your palms facing down. We're going to do bridge pose. Just strengthen the muscles around the spine. Once again, please lift up your heart center and tuck your shoulder blades under and tilt your chin towards the center of your chest with your palms flat on the floor, fingertips reaching towards your heels, pulling your shoulders away from your ears. Let's press the small of the back into the floor. Peel your spine off the floor, lifting up hips and bum, activating your thighs, your hamstrings, your buttocks, and of course your back muscles. There are so many benefits, once again, to bridge pose. Just the compression in the throat area is important for purging. So every time an area of the body experiences compression, there is an opportunity to remove toxins and impurities from that area. And at this time, I feel that I should mention oil of oregano. If you do not have any, starting from the top of your spine, slowly release your torso all the way back down. Oil of oregano, tastes awful, put 2 or 3 drops in a bit of juice at the first sign of, say, a sore throat or just not feeling right. And I say it, you've got to do it right at the, nip things at the bud before stuff spreads throughout your body, and then once it spreads, well, then you've got whatever you've got. Let's do bridge one more time, please. Palms facing down, arms beside your body. Press the small of your back into the floor. Peel your spine off the floor. Oil of oregano, it's not expensive for how long it will last you. I don't leave home without it. If I'm taking a trip, I always have it with me. It's been known to cure so many different ailments. Urinary tract infections. I always remember I was on a trip and the makeup artist said, I think we were in Cuba, and you're not going to find oil of oregano, well, not back then in Cuba, and she says, usually they're bad. I said, listen, take this stuff, because I had it with me, and it nipped it at the bud, wasn't a problem, and she made us look as beautiful as we could. That was another reason why I couldn't let her go home. I need my makeup artist. Okay, one more breath in and pressing up. And on an exhale, slowly bring your torso back onto your mat. Draw your knees up in towards your chest. Place your hands. Now, we're going to come over onto our knees, so you may want to roll over onto your side, but if you're okay with placing your hands underneath the backs of your knees and rolling up, come on over onto your knees now. Cat-cow. Beautiful, strengthening, stretching, enlivening, activating all the muscles around your spine. So if you don't have a knee pad, and you can always fold your mat over to create cushioning for your knees if you need it. All right, let's extend the right leg straight out behind, left arm straight out in front, and breathe. Engage your core, please. Think about your neck always. Exhale, release everything down, and inhale. Let's bring the other leg and opposite arm. So last week we talked about balance. Reaching and stretching. Remember, your neck is part of your spine, so your head is not poking up, nor is it hanging down. And releasing. Spread your knees wide apart, big toes touch, keep the tops of your feet flat. If you're not able or comfortable in bending your knees 90 degrees, you will not take modified child's pose. Instead, puppy pose with your knees under your hips, releasing your forehead either on the floor in either position, or if you require added height, fold your forearms one on top of the other and create a pillow. Breathing into your side and your back ribs. Again, as I said last week and multiple times, most of our breathing takes place in our side and back ribs. We see people breathing and you just see their chest rising and they're almost like sipping air instead of filling their lungs. Inhale, draw your knees underneath your hips, curl your toes under, rock back. Everybody want to stretch their toes for a second? Yeah, of course you do. I guess you do. And remember, you don't have to sit back on your heels. Just take a moment here. We're going to start wearing shoes again. Not today, thankfully. Well, we might be wearing open-toed shoes still. Okay, roll back onto the soles of your feet. Keep your knees soft here, please. Let's make sure that our feet are underneath our knees and hips, so we're aligned, but your knees are soft. Let your head hang. Give your head a bit of a shake if you're not sure that you're relaxing your neck. And then let's bend the left leg, straighten the right. Left leg bent, right leg straight. Place your left hand on your right instep. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Gets into your upper spine. Exhale, float that arm down. Let's bend the right leg, straighten the left. Place your right hand on your left instep and sweep your left arm up. This might be a good time to mention that a reputable source mentioned that when we have a stiff upper back, so the thoracic spine, those 12 vertebrae, when they're stiff, it can lead to problems with shoulder mobility. And lots of us have issues in our shoulders. And then release that hand down. Let your head hang. Really firmly press the soles of your feet into the floor and let's slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. Keep your chin tucked into your chest and let your head be the last thing to come up. And take a sip of water at any time during the class if you need. Okay, Tadasana. Feet about a fist width apart. Outsides of your feet are parallel with the outsides of your mat. Lift your toes off the floor for a moment. Feel your big toe mount, baby toe mount, center front of heel, and then engage your thighs. Lift up at your sternum. Shoulders up. Exhale, roll them back. Pull your armpits down. Let your chin float horizontal, parallel to the floor. Okay, inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Axial extension. So as I said, the key to a healthy spine is movement and extension. I'm adding axial just because that's somebody called it, so. But I should look it up, axial. Axial usually rotates around an axis. Am I thinking too much? I think so. Okay, okay, I'm going to talk to you later, Liz, you'll know. All right, so interlock your fingers, release your pointer, so you've got like a steeple, and bring your arms right beside your ears if you're able. If it hurts your shoulders, but if you're able to straighten the arms, inhale, stretch up. Exhale to the left. Now, keep the length, keep the length. Not about how far you go. I see a ton of, oh yeah, we can go all the way over here. Well, great. But there's a lot of compression when we bend further and not keep the length. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, lengthen, and then bend sideways. It doesn't matter how far you go. In fact, sometimes we should back off a bit if we're that A-type person who really wants to go for it. Inhale, stretch up. Okay, let your head fall back. And then maybe let your arms fall back so that your ears are between your arms. Inhale, release the arms, lift up out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips to the floor, let your head hang. And then bend your knees and sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead, hands in prayer. Okay, let's do our half-sun salutations. Inhaling in place, sweep the arms up. Exhale, turn the palms out. Bend your knees, swan dive onto your thighs, fingertips tented on the floor, and on an inhale, can you lift your hips, let your head hang, feel the stretch in the backs of your legs, really let your upper body hang. This is a stretch in itself for your spine. And then exhale, bend your knees, your belly and your chest are on your thighs. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reach up, hands in prayer. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale,
palms out, exhale, bend your knees, swan dive onto your thighs, fingertips tented. On an inhale, lift your hips up. Now if you really want to straighten your legs but your fingertips don't touch the floor, then you can add height underneath your hands if you have a block or a cushion nearby. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips. You're coming into a tuck position. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale, turn the palms out, exhale, swan dive onto your thighs, fingertips tented. On an inhale, try to keep your belly glued to your thighs, let the crown of your head hang. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, turn the palms out and down. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, let your head hang. Can you just take hold of your elbows for a moment here? Really let your upper body hang. Again, please relax your neck. Make sure your neck is relaxed. You should be able to straighten your legs when you're holding your elbows. And if you just give your head a bit of a swing, you'll know if you're holding or just letting the weight of your head, that 10 to 15 pounds, can go a long way in stretching out cervical vertebra. And then bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Okay, so let's do our full sun salutation. Should I be opening a door? Are we okay with the temperature? Because obviously it would affect these people here. If anybody wants to open the side windows, go for it. Okay, you two at home, open your windows if you want. Okay, come on up to the fronts of your mats. Shake everything out. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet high. Reach up, look up. Okay, we are stretching our thoracic spine. So you're lengthening more than bending backwards too far, because then we compress the lumbar vertebra. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, reach forward. You reach as you hinge from your hips. Fingertips tented on the floor. Let your hips hang. Left leg back. Hands on your front right knee. You're going to keep your shoulders over your hips in this position. Inhale. Focus for balance. About 9 feet in front of you. Press through that back heel. That is what's going to anchor your posture. If we lean forward, we don't have that anchor. So press through the back heel, sweep your arms up, keep your shoulders down, focus your gaze 8 to 9 feet in front of you on the floor if you're feeling wobbly. Turn your hands forward and bring your hands with fingers spread wide apart onto your mat. Remember, if plank position isn't helpful for you today, bring your knees to the mat and bring your feet off the floor and cross at the ankle. If you're able to hold in plank position, you press your heels back. You reach through the crown of your head. Press all 10 fingers into the mat and draw your bellies towards your inner spine. So a lot of women, we lose our upper body strength. Well, we didn't ever have it as much as men, but we don't want to lose it so we can remain independent and capable and able when we need to, if there's nobody around to help us out. Then release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, leave your hands where they are, and take your hips back towards your heels. Remember, if you go slowly, it reduces the chance of cramping in the foot area. And just breathe here. Of course, the next posture we're going to take, chest and chin down, bum up, is
one of the best postures for maintaining suppleness, flexibility equals youthfulness in our spine. So I know how awkward it feels, but do your best here to begin to come forward, keeping your upper body as low as possible and your buttocks as high as possible. And when you can, you're lowering your chest and your chin onto the mat. Slide everything up behind you. Draw your fingertips back to align with the tops of your shoulders. Release your forehead onto the mat. Flatten the tops of your feet. Draw your elbows into your rib cage. Press your forearms down towards the mat. Pressing your hips and pelvis into the mat. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. On an inhale, lift your head, neck, shoulders, and chest, coming into baby Bhujangasana. Eyes can be open or closed. Allow them to roll up towards your third eye, Ajna Chakra, your seat of intuition. One more breath in, lifting, exhale, and lower. Curl your toes under, press your hands into the floor. You can come up onto your knees, or you can just press your hips up, walk your feet a couple of inches forward. So this is a lengthener for your spine, downward facing dog. You're going to keep your knees bent. I want you to press your belly towards your thighs, your chest towards your knees, your sits bones towards the back of your mat, and I'll bet you just grew a few inches in length in your upper body, and now press your heels towards the mat. Doesn't matter if your heels touch the floor, you just want to feel a good stretch in the backs of your legs. All 10 fingers are pressed into the mat so that you have that space under your palm called the carpal tunnel. And your ears are aligning with your inner arms. And you're breathing. Lift your left leg up in the air, look at your left hand, and swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward, and let your upper body just hang. Arms beside your ears, pull your bellies in, engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Sweep the arms in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance. Look up, arc back. You're stretching the front of your chest and you're lengthening through this thoracic spine. Inhale, feet come back together, lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side and up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Let's do one more round, please. Starting at the front of your mat. Inhale. Exhale. Feet apart for balance. And reach up and look up and arc back. Lengthening. Inhale, bring your feet back towards one another. Lift up out of your waist. Exhale, reach forward as you fold from your hips. Please let your head hang. Crown of your head faces the floor. Step your right leg back and drop your knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. Focus your gaze. Lift your back knee off the floor. Press through your heel. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Keep your torso upright. Keep your fingers and hands active. And breathe. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart. Take your version of plank that's best for you today. And breathe. floor. This is the best overall strengthening exercise in yoga, period. Reaching through the crown, pressing your heels back, pull your bellies in, and then release your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet. Leave your hands where they are, and slowly draw your hips back towards your heels. Stretching through your spine, releasing your lower back. Stretching through shoulders, arms, and wrists. Once again, this compression in your abdominal area helps to stimulate momentum, movement, whether it's movement of nutrients or the removal of waste. Both of these are equally important. Leave your hands where they are. Release your forearms and elbows onto your mat. Stay nice and low with your upper body. And when you're able, release your chest and your chin onto your mat. Draw everything out behind you. Draw your fingertips back to align with the edges of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body and press your forearms down towards your mat. If you're considering the fuller expression of Cobra, then you may wish to separate your feet and press your baby toe into the mat to create more space in the sacral area, the bottom of your spine, the lower back. Roll an invisible alley with your nose, pressing your hips and pelvis gently into the mat. On an inhale, lift your head, neck, shoulders, and chest. So we're all in baby cobra. Be sure your elbows aren't winging out, nor your shoulders scunching up around your ears. Keep your shoulder blades moving down your back. And then if you wish to go further, press the floor away from you. Lengthen, do not go any further than you are able to keep your elbows in, to keep your shoulders down, and let that natural curve through your neck. And then your eyeballs rolling up towards Ajna Chakra. I practice a lot with my eyes closed. It allows me to reduce the distractions, but more importantly, to feel what's going on in my body. One more breath in, exhale, and lengthen as you lower. If your feet were apart, please bring them back towards one another. Curl your toes under, pressing up into downward dog. Remember, walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Release your ears and your head between your arms. Press your sits bones towards the back of your mat. And now press your heels down towards the mat. And breathe. This is a hugely energizing posture, but we're lengthening our spine here, stretching it. So even though your head is aligned between your arms, feel free to move your head a little bit. Just notice if you're staying somewhat loose while in alignment. You shouldn't be stiff just because we're aligned. Lift your right leg up in the air, look at your right hand, swing that foot as far forward as you can, other leg forward, and then let your upper body hang, Uttanasana. Should feel pretty stretched out by now. With your fingertips on the floor, but your arms beside your ears, engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in to protect your lower back, and then sweep the arms out in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance, and up, arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, hands in prayer. And take a sip of water and flat out and relaxing just for a moment. By the way, lying down in Shavasana allows your body to be in perfect alignment. So flat out, lie down. Arms beside your body with your palms facing up in the open and receiving position. This externally rotates your arms, your humerus bone at the shoulder. It opens your chest, it elongates your collarbone. And then breathe fully and deeply. Make sure your bellies are rising. On your inhale, and collapsing on your exhale. Notice what your jaw is doing. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. You may even wish to separate the lips just to relax any kind of tension in the face. Okay, you may need to have a look that you can extend your arms over behind your head without impediment, without knocking your water bottle over. So just take a moment to clear a path above your head and out to your side. Bring both knees up into your chest. Keep your right leg there, extend your left leg down, and with your left hand, take your right knee over to the right side. Pardon me, the left side. Right knee is over to the opposite, left side, so you're twisting, and your right arm is out to the right side. Just breathe into wherever you're feeling the most tension or tightness. You can mentally ask it to relax. Remember, our hips are our junk drawer. We stuff all kinds of stuff into our junk drawers, whether they're the ones at home or the ones in our bodies. Because sometimes we just don't have time to deal with it. And that's life. Inhale, come back to center, draw the right knee in, draw the left knee in, extend the right leg down in front, place your right hand on the outside of your left knee, draw it across your body, and extend your left arm out to the left side. And let's check out the junk drawer on the left side, maybe they're even. Oh. Good deep inhaling and exhaling, especially the exhaling. Helps us let go. And the beautiful thing about yoga sometimes is to be mindful but almost mindless in terms of not having any thoughts. Just allowing whatever the feeling is in our body to take front and center stage for a change. So noticing it, not judging it, just noticing it. That's mindfulness. We mindfully notice, we compassionately notice. We don't make any judgments, we don't make any decisions, we just breathe into it. Some love, some compassion, some patience, and then bring that knee back into your chest as you roll onto your backs. And now both knees are into your chest. You're taking your arms out to the side, shoulder height, pressing the small of your back into the floor, engage your core, and lower both both knees over to the left. Both knees over to the left. Now, if you're off your mat, just scooch yourself over to the right side of your mat. So both knees are bent. They are on the left side. Identify your right arm, and I want you to think of your arms like the arms of a clock. You're going to inhale your right arm up and over behind your heads, reaching and stretching to midnight. And on an exhale, you bring that arm, can keep going in the same direction so that you're bringing your right arm on top of your left arm. You're now on your side. Hands are in a prayer position, and your knees, upper thighs should be perpendicular to your torso. So we're going to reverse that action. We're going to take that top hand, that top right hand, and along the floor, if you're able, be mindful. Some of us have tight or sore shoulders, so you take that right arm and sweep it over behind your head, reaching, stretching, elongating. And after midnight, it comes back to your 9 o'clock position. So both arms, one at 9 o'clock, one at 3 o'clock. We're going to do this once again. Inhale, sweep that bottom arm, the right hand, so the one that's off to the right side, sweep it up to midnight. And exhale, slowly drawing a line, if you can, on the floor. Kind of like making snow angels, but I don't like talking about snow right now. So your hands are together. Okay, hands are together now. Knees are bent. So listen, you are going to bring the top knee into your chest with your right hand. So you're bringing your top right knee into your chest. Your left hand that's still on the floor is going to take hold of the big toe of your bent knee. So the leg that's on the floor, just forget about it for a while. Forget about your left leg. We're all just talking about the right leg. So you've got a hold of your big toe with your left hand. You're going to extend that right top leg out to the side as far as you can. And then you're going to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And you're going to exhale it back over to the right side. Now, if that's not working for you because your shoulder's cranky today, place your arm wherever it can be moderately happy. We're not here to irritate any part of our bodies. We're here to help our bodies release whatever tension and stress there is. So breathe into it. Now, if that right arm's not touching the floor, can you imagine that it's floating in jello? So of course, this is rotating your entire spinal column. One more breath in. Exhaling. Now inhale and roll onto your back, but keep that right leg straight up into the air, straight up into the air. Okay, so your left leg's on the floor, your right leg is straight up into the air. You're going to slowly lower your right leg all the way back down to the floor. And just take a moment to check in. Is your right leg feeling longer now than your left leg? Let's scooch our bodies over to the left side of the mat. Take your arms out to shoulder height. Draw both knees in towards your chest and drop both knees down towards the right. Both knees are down towards the right. You're going to identify your left arm, so the arm that's over on the other side of where your knees are. And you're going to inhale, sweep that arm up and overhead slowly to midnight. Inhaling it, reaching and stretching. And on an exhale, you're going to continue that movement and bring it all the way around to meet the other hand. Whoops. Okay. So your hands are in prayer. You're going to take that top left arm, inhale, sweep it up and over behind your head. Reaching and stretching. Reach and stretch up to midnight. And exhale it all the way back to shoulder height. So both arms are shoulder height. Now the slower you move when you're doing this, the less chance there is for injury or irritation. You will notice when you move slowly if something isn't feeling right. And notice that, sometimes a little bit of stretching, you feel perhaps a little bit of strain. You don't want to feel any pain. So let's take that left arm again. Inhale, sweep it up towards above your head, reaching, stretching up to midnight. Exhale, keep coming in the same direction, making that semicircle, bringing your hands together in prayer. Now, if your knees are perpendicular, your thighs to your upper body, it makes the next part a little bit easier. So, use your top hand to pull the top knee in towards your body. If you want, you can straighten your bottom right leg now. So you're holding your left bent knee, your right hand, maybe your peace fingers, can take hold of your big toe, and then attempt to straighten the leg out to the side, holding on to it, and then take your top left arm, open it back to where it began, to the opposite side of what your leg direction is. And breathe. And again, if this is bothering your shoulder, modify it so that you can still get the stretch, the release, but not the irritation. Now, when you're holding your left arm out to the left side, it's nice if it can just be loose and relaxed. But if it doesn't feel good, loose and relaxed, you can activate some of your shoulder muscles to support holding the arm out to that left side. One more breath in, maybe stretch a little more. Exhaling in place. And then inhale, lift that left leg that was out to the side, up, keep it up in the air, roll onto your backs. And slowly lower that leg all the way back down. And I'm praying that your legs now match up. And there, so that you won't be lurching home. Okay. Draw your knees up into your chest. Oh, you should feel so nice, wide and open. Once again, we're going to come up to a standing position. So place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs. If rocking and rolling up is okay. If it's not, roll over onto your side and use your top arm to press yourself back up. Whatever your choice is. Again, if you need a sip of water, please take it. Curl your toes up. strengthening for your spine. You may wish to have a block, and the block is not so much to support you as it is to just help you with your balance. So you would put it inside of your standing front leg. So coming up to the fronts of your mats, step your right leg back, one leg length, and then you can place your block if you wish on whatever height you want or not. Make sure the heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. This is really important. So look down, take the time to get your alignment right. Rick, your heel needs to go through the arch of your back foot. So you need your back foot to move a lot. Yeah, you got it. Okay. So, your legs stay straight in this position. We don't bend our front knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Reach forward. When you can't reach any further forward, hinge and let that front arm fall inside of your front leg. So this is where, if you want to, just to have a place to rest your fingertips, and then reach up with your top arm. Don't overreach. Imagine that both of your shoulder blades would be pressing against a wall. And your palms could both be facing in the same position, basically the direction of your nose, if you're looking sideways. And if you have a shoulder issue, just keep your arm down on your hip, okay? But the energy is up. If your arm is okay to go up, even if your arm isn't, imagine the energy is going up. Inhale, come on up. Let's take the block with us. Pivot on that front foot, turning the foot about 60 degrees forward, and then pivot on what was your back foot, is now your front foot, 90 degrees forward. Again, the heel should line up with the arch of your back foot. And breathe. Lift up in your sternum, straighten your front leg, keep your front leg straight. It doesn't bend. Inhale, sweep arms up to shoulder, reach forward. Reach towards the back of your mat, or if you want to call it the front of your mat, reach. Then you can't reach any further, just hinge. Let it be organic. Please don't reach down. If you reach down, you start to lose the integrity. Your shoulders no longer line up. Reach up with your top arm. Nice, everybody. So if you're able to point your fingers towards the ceiling of your top hand, great. And again, palms should be facing the direction of your nose. So your palm faces the side of your mat. One more breath in to lift up. Exhale to hold. And then inhale, remove your blocks. Turn sideways on your mats. Feet are slightly pointed out. Take your arms out to shoulder height. Your 5-pointed star. Exhale, fold halfway. Lengthen your spine. Tent your fingers underneath your face. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching up, stretching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reaching up, stretching up, looking up. Exhale, float it down. Let's lunge over to the left, bringing bum close to heel. Up and over to the other side. Into the center, walk your feet in and bring yourself into Shavasana or perfect posture. And if you have an iPad, please, and if you have a tissue, just put your tissue over first on your eyes and then put your iPad on. It's nice during the daytime to cover your eyes. Feel good about your participation in taking care of your most valuable asset. Eyes are closed. Even our body position in space affects our mental state. If we're feeling low or tired or down, we need to try to think about standing or sitting tall, pressing our shoulders back, heads up, and breathing fully. Inhaling the life force into your bodies. As I name the body part, mentally locate it and command it to relax 3 times. No movement, no sound. Feet, ankles, calves, thighs, hips and pelvis, abdomen, chest, collarbone and shoulders, arms and forearms, hands and fingers, backs of thighs, buttocks, lower back, middle back, upper back, neck, jaw, lips and tongue, eyelids and eyeballs, forehead, scalp, brain. It doesn't take long for our sympathetic fight or flight nervous systems to be activated. It can take quite a while to deactivate them. When it comes to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where your system is at this time, we can activate it, but it can take 11 to 15 minutes for the activation to have the real, true benefits of healing, restoring, and balancing the body and the mind. So for anyone to think that lying on your back is a waste of time, doesn't understand the power of this very important asana. Restoring, healing, and balancing for all systems, all parts, everything that is part of your body and your mind. Take a moment now to roll over onto your side, possibly using your bottom arm as a pillow with your knees bent. And when you're ready, use your top arm to press yourself back up into a seated position. And if you wish, we can close our practice by chanting all one time together. Inhaling in place. Om Shanti. Peace. Namaste.